Bloody bucket. How many have heard of the bloody bucket? Bloody bucket. Yeah. Don't know the bloody bucket. All right, after the fair building was destroyed by the flood, they decided to go back and just build this. This is where the parking lot is today for the train down there. It was built there. It was built to cover the stuff, and Destler didn't have and Trentham did not have a basketball court. This was their basketball court. This is where all the dances took place. And it became nicknamed the bucket. But it seemed like girls had a tendency to date some people that other people didn't like. So somebody go in there with a big knife and clear the place out. And thus it got the name, the Bloody Bucket. Chap said he had an assistant coach. He said, you didn't miss my practice. He said, coaches didn't miss it. Said he was dating a girl from Tuscumbia. And since he couldn't go to the dance because of practice, she went with a Sheffield guy to the dance down there. And said when practice was over, that boy was gone. He says he got a phone call close to midnight. His police department said, come get your coach. He said, what's he in for? He said he took the knife down there and cleaned out the bucket again. And he said, no, I'll leave him there tomorrow, I'll get him. He said, funny part about this, the guy became a preacher. He gave me his name and told me not to mention it. This is the first train that was in Spring Park. The guy right there, Mr. Keys, George Keys, he built this. He was a machinist for the railroad, became an crew for the railroad. He loved trains. Everybody, in fact, on his grave, it's got pictures of trains. Dual gauge. The engine's one gauge, the cars are another. You'll also see back here the horses, the airplanes here, for you to go around and ride the airplanes. Back up here you see the carousel. Now this is a train I rode. It was put in by the railroad people. They paid for it. The main man in charge was Bo Harvey. His son helped us put in the one that's down there now. Bo's on the right, the mayor's to the left. You know, the mayor's always got in to get these pictures up first, you know. We called the tunnel, this building that was kept in. When you came through there, you could stand up and hit the floor, ceiling joists, boom, 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 while you went through. But it gained the reputation of being the place where little girls got their first kiss. They got a reputation. I think it was a dime for 2 times around. And when the storm tore the park up, the trees ruined the track, and got too expensive to repair, they put this in and put a concrete path around the park, and it rode on that concrete path. I remember that.
Family.
Do what?
I know that family.
I said to a place like this that I'd like to have that picture. She said, I got it. She brought it to me. The train we have now, and that bridge right there, we were running behind schedule. We had to open that for Saturday. And they poured the concrete that morning. Harvey came in lunch. He said, lay the track across it. I said, well, that's not right. He said, lay the track across it. So I laid the track across it. That afternoon, I had to drive a train across it. I don't know how dry it was, but it went across. This is first time around. We robbed the train. Guys on horseback were sitting up top of the hill waiting for them to come around. They came around, they came to change game. They robbed any change you had, they robbed it. It became known as the change game. And you can see the little girls being the first ones being robbed. Their hands went up just like this, as fast as you could get. Now, a little girl toward the back, reached in her pocket, got all her money out, took it, stuck it down in socks and shoes, came back in the back. Oh, some of the things that were going on were hilarious. And Arnold knew one of the girls, women on there. He went up and threatened to haul her off. The little girl sitting there with her daughter said, Mister, please don't, I got a piggy bank full of change, I'll run and get it. So, and we robbed the police chief, the sheriff, the mayor, and Harvey Robbins. And got away with it.
And did you parole?
Do what?
Do they get parole?
Oh, I'll tell you another good one. Here, we fixed out wanted posters for all of them and posted them on the post down at the park. And it said, the change game. And if you could identify one of the change game help, we'll give you free rides. Train broke down one day and I needed help, so I called Arnold. That's the one right here. I called him to come help me. He was wearing the same clothes he's got on right there when he came down there. And I'm standing there working, and all of a sudden I felt, and the boys like this, said, Mister. I said, they said, come here a minute. They went over and put the wanted poster. That's him right there. That's him right there. So I had to give them some free tickets. But the train came from Toledo Zoo.
Hi, this is Jordan Collier, host of Historical Insights on Spotify, and you're watching North Alabama Local History.
Also, something else that happened in the park. Every year, retired railroad people were fed free. Can you read how much food was going that day?
Wow.
Who made all that food?
The women, my wives, and the men of the railroad. They made it down in the park. It was something to see every year when they did this.
There's a lot of ham and Brunswick stew.
Yeah. I remember going. My dad was a railroad engineer. I remember going. I remember eating the stew. Old concession stand. I remember the old concession stand.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter was down in the park. Now I'm going to 6. This is pretty much the reason why I wanted to the park, because I'm limited on time. But that gives you something I hope that most of you had not seen. Looking east, looking west down 6th Street. This originally was a carriage shop or a wagon works, Tuscumbia Wagon Works. It became the fire station. I don't know what else after the fire station. This is Dixon Street. You'll notice on Dixon Street, there's a building right in the middle of the street. You didn't go down Dixon Street. When you came up this hill into town, you had to turn, go down the main, and that way. It was done on purpose to make the traffic go by the stores. So you just couldn't ride around Tuscumbia without going by the stores. This is your meat market. Meat can only be sold at a meat market. Nobody downtown could sell meat. Now every store in town sold whiskey, I think, but they couldn't sell any meat. So this is your meat market. If you don't want to get meat, you have to go to the meat market. And they butchered it right there. I can't tell what kind of, maybe a stagecoach with it, but I can't tell.
I'm confused. Is the Baptist church on that street, is that Dixon or is that 6th?
No, this is 6th Street.
Okay. Where was
6th Street
Dixon?
going right here.
But that's Dixon, she's talking about coming in from the left there, right?
I mean, you come by the old Methodist church was over there in there.
That's on
Well, I got pictures that shows that here.
Because you said Dixon Street didn't go all, back at the end, didn't go all the way through to.
No,
Because.
didn't go through. When it first got out there, Dixon Street, that intersection, there was a pond. So they did, then when the railroad filled the pond in. And, but they didn't want you to go through that. Besides, the railroad track was about that high there. You had to go up and over. They didn't want you to do that either.
So when was the thoroughfare for Dixon Street extended? After those buildings were torn down or burned down or something, it went on through?
Yeah, and then
Toward the north, yeah.
Then only the old cars could go across it because of the hump.
Oh,
Modern car would get stuck on the hump on the railroad track.
Oh, I see, yeah.
What year was that picture?
About.
I would say early 1900s. I really don't know. To be honest with you, I don't think I had a date on that one.
Well, was the photograph colorized or what?
Yeah, all these are colorized, by the way. I colorized them because I wanted you to see what I think town looked like at that time.
Yeah.
That was one of the hardest things to decide. I use black and white, I use color. But some of the pictures you look much better in color. I'm guilty of that, by the way. When my mother was sick for 6 years, I had nothing else to do when I sat with her, so I took my pictures and colorized them.
Looks good.
This is looking back down the other way. Here's your trolley track.
Sixth Street East, right?
Yeah, facing east.
I thought the railroad was down Fifth Street.
This is not the railroad, this is your streetcar.
Excuse me, thank you. Oh.
Man, like I said, this place you could easily get run over by trains or rail track.
I noticed that thing made a curve down there.
Yeah, sit Main Street, turn and went up Main. Everything had to go up Main, I reckon.
Yeah.
Old Ike Hyde store. It's where the bookstore, well, it's not a bookstore anymore, is it? What is it now? Oh, the old bookstore. This is where originally was Ike Hyde. He made enough money to build a building that's down there now. And some people say when Colbert was here, Chief Colbert, this was owned by Pittman Colbert. He operated his store. Then became the Franklin Hotel. Tuscumbia was bad about naming things the same way. We had a Franklin Hotel and a Franklin House Hotel, which were completely different. And that makes you looking up things sometimes, because people have failed to pull a name. When it was redone, Craig's, this is the way I remember this kid, Craig's Appliances. You'll notice that the colors of brick changed right up here where a storm came through, took out the top and pretty well demolished the old Masonic building. That's what it looked like when Harvey got through with it. This was the building next door going west. Deering was International Harvester, before Rondo International Harvester. And I don't know who had it. Of course, we just lost this building.
Modern Service Division.
International Trucks down at Walker Lumber Company. We bought a lot of international trucks from him.
It's a fancy car there.
Yeah, Hudson's.
Hudson,
The old Masonic Lodge,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
built in the 1830s. Yes, Tuscumbia had 3 rows of structures. Planters Row, there were 6 of them. This picture, this is the only one where it's still remaining of Planters Row. There were 6 of them in a row. The 3 here burned down in 1838. Burned down, we'll have to figure out how things go. It burned down about 2 weeks after we got our first fire engine. I mean, if we hadn't got fire engine, we didn't burn down, I don't know. But they saved the rest of it.
What was that big brick building, the 3-story for drugstores and stuff? Beside the Masonic Lodge, the big one right there.
But this one?
No, that's Masonic Lodge, right?
No,
The
one-
3-story.
The red one's Masonic Lodge right here.
Yeah, but that's not standing today.
No, it's not standing there, it was destroyed last summer.
But I mean, surely the Masonic Lodge wanted to use 3 stores, it's got a signed drugstore, I guess.
Yeah,
you can use
Masonic,
things on the bottom
Masonic
floor.
Lodge been upstairs, they control the whole upstairs.
Yeah.
Usually the lawyer's office is on this one, business on the bottom one. See, they charge rent.
Yeah.
When Cover County was formed, the top floor was the courthouse.
Well, that makes
Now,
sense.
where is this located?
Where?
Where what,
Do you understand?
where, which street?
Oh, where was it? Right across the street from the bookstore, going,
On 6.
right where the hole is. That's the best way to describe it, right where the hole is. You
Down
what?
past Dollar General on 6th Street, right? No, 5th Street.
It's on 6. Everything right here is on 6.
It's on the other corner from
No.
Dollar General.
The,
On the other-
right here would be the bookstore.
No.
Does that help?
That's
Did it?
where the clock is? Like where the clock
Yeah,
is?
clock would be sitting right here. The clock would be sitting right here.
You said the white building is still standing?
No, it's gone.
It's gone, okay.
Nothing there.
The Bessler building, the Besslers got rich in Tuscumbia. I don't know if they're still here or not. They got rich, about they built this store in this place. It's been used for doctor offices after they left. And I don't know what else. That's where the post office is.
Post office was.
The what?
Post office was, now it's down there on 72, right?
Yeah. You got me.
Hey, John?
First taxi service. You think Tuscumbia need a taxi service?
Yes, oh, yeah.
That's state-of-the-art transportation.
Well, I'll tell you a story how we got a taxi service. There was a pandemic in Memphis, and good old Tuscumbia decided they were not going to allow the trains to stop in Tuscumbia. And so they passed a law. Sheffield would say, well, Tuscumbia will send them all here. So Southern Railway moved all the operations to Sheffield because of that. And built a new station called First Street Station, our new station. And all the trains stopped at it, and they abandoned one downtown. Well, Tuscumbia is saying, well, we're not going to agree to that, so we're not going to build you a road to it. And they didn't build a road to it. So everybody found out it's easier just to take a ticket all the way to Sheffield, catch the streetcar, and come back to Tuscumbia. It was easier. So Tuscumbia finally agreed to build a road, but the streetcar company said, we're not going to build a streetcar track out there. So still, if you got there, you didn't have a way to get to Tuscumbia. So this man decided, I have a way, I'll create my own business and go pick you up. So he saved Tuscumbia's railroad day, so to speak. That's how we got his business. I guess he was proud of that. Doc's Hamburger Stand. That's on 6th Street, north side of 6th Street. He went to the fair. The World's Fair was in Chicago. And he saw them making hamburgers. He came back and made him a hamburger stand, so to speak. So the first hamburgers here were built by Doc. Expensive things, weren't they? 5 cents. A bowl of chili, 5 cents. Now here's at the corner of 6th and Dixon. Dixon's right here. 6th is here. There's the old Methodist Church. Right over here in the corner, right over here, that's the gin, Cotton Gin. Up in the corner, it's Tuscumbia Public School, and there's the livery stable.
John, that old building, the old Methodist church, is that the same location where the Methodist church is?
No, that church is located where the police station is today.
Oh, the police station, oh, okay.
And right across the street, in the old days, when I say right across the street, right over this way, was a church known as the Campbellite Baptist. Now you figure that one out.
No. Campbell Baptist.
Yeah. The Campbellites, they said, met at one time, and the Baptists would meet at another. And they pitched in about the one church. So it was called the Campbellite Baptist. This is the building the very picture I showed you back, had the Coca-Cola on there. It became the fire station. The horse that they used was so trained that when somebody rang the fire bell, it would run from wherever it was up and back into the horse, onto the wagon. All they had to do was hook him up. That's how well trained it was.